Okay, we are back in live. Let's see if this thing not gonna be froze anymore. Okay, so okay, can you guys see me without to be froze? Okay, we are back. We are back. Yes, yes, not frozen. All right, so it's in the darkness. Let's go for you guys. Okay, you are back. Now we're gonna go visit Jessi to the other side. Okay, it's gonna be dark, so don't. If you see darkness, Jessi said we can turn on the light, but she's in the cave right now, so she's a big cave. Or if it froze again, I don't know. Dove sei? Don't open, because then maybe I cannot see nothing. The darkness for the.
Turn on the light.
Can you see Jessi?
Don't be ridiculous.
Oh,
Ciao ragazzi.
Jessie's.
I can't even see them. My eyes are like.
Yes.
Ciao.
Jessie's here.
We're back. We're back. I tried to join the live so I could comment.
Why, if you have the phone, if I put you the link, you have the phone, and then I can have you here in the phone?
What do you mean?
Like you join, I make you go inside. Well, doesn't
That
matter.
sounds complicated.
It's complicated. So there we go.
Ciao.
Jessie's here.
We're so close to the end, guys. I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to survive through.
Jessi tried to survive.
This is rough. I actually,
Ooh.
I told Alessio, I don't know if I can sit up. I feel like
Jessi cannot move, ragazzi.
I told Alessio I went back in the past and watched our videos from our first egg retrieval in Italy, just so I could remind myself of what happened and how, because I was thinking like, oh, I should feel good. Why do I feel like total crap? Why am I in so much pain? But then I went back and watched, and yeah, I was in pain then too. But I feel like this time is worse, I have to say.
Yeah.
This is like a terrible angle. Don't hold it down like that. I need to be.
By the way, look the toilet.
I have everything I need. My
toilet paper.
nose.
And then there is Micha
Micha.
sleeping. She's sleeping with Jessi. It's hard to be like this. This is a terrible position. I'm gonna come back to you.
No, you're gonna leave.
I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
It's really bad. Let me see if I do something else.
Or you can just sit normal, and I'll just be like.
Yeah.
I can't sit up. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Jessi can't, ragazzi. This is the only position that she can handle it.
I'm not kidding. If I get in the wrong position and it triggers the pain, I will be like crying. Right now is the one moment of the day that I've found a peaceful position. So I'm not going to risk it. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you guys, but I'm not risking the position.
You both seem like amazing couple, even though I'm a new in this channel. Aww. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sta ferma, Jessi.
Yeah, exactly. Don't risk it.
Don't risk. Don't move. Exactly.
Today's been worse because my pain started probably day 5?
Day 5. What day we are right now?
I think we're day 11 now.
Day 11.
But it's gotten worse because what happens when you do the IVF is your estrogen level rises with each day. That's the goal. Because with rising estrogen means your follicles are growing, the eggs are maturing. But with the rising estrogen, it, I guess, aggravates the endometriosis that's still inside. So I don't have any endometriosis on my ovaries anymore, but I still have endometriosis on my rectum. And I've got like probably a 2.5 centimeter lesion there. So if that gets inflamed, it just wrecks all of the nerves in my pelvic floor. My pelvic floor is like not functioning properly, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
And so every day it gets worse. And today I was told I couldn't take any more medicine because in preparation for the egg retrieval surgery, you can't take any NSAIDs because it causes a risk for bleeding. So she told me, she was like, the last 2 days are going to be miserable because you can't take anything. And Tylenol doesn't do anything for my pain
Yeah.
because I think it's inflammatory. So if I can't have an anti-inflammatory, then
Yeah, because we try to ask a question. Does the doctor know how much pain she's right now? And the answer it is yes. I mean,
probably. Well,
well, they don't know.
I'm bad at being honest about my pain to the doctors. Alessio
They,
has to force me
I force her sometimes
to
to
explain
explain better because they need to know how
because
much
I
it
try and
is.
say I'm
But
fine.
the question it is, well, first of all, because Jessie hate to take medicine, extra medicine.
Hmm.
But the second thing it is, they know that you're in pain, but I don't know if they can do anything right now for protect the
I don't
follicles.
think so either. Yeah, because we have to, and I'm not kidding. After doing 11 days of these injections, I don't want to do anything to damage the follicles. It's like I'm so close, but these last 2 days are the very top of the mountain, the hardest part.
Mm.
So we just have to gut through it, I guess. And then after the egg retrieval, she's gonna give me a medicine that will drop my estrogen level really quickly in hopes that the pain will go away.
Mm.
So we have to see if that works. I don't know.
So somebody asked if you ever try a heating pad. So like we was explaining,
I've got 3 right
we have
now.
we have heater pad, we have la bósforo de agua chata, how you say it?
A hot water
A
bottle,
hot water bottle. We have the electric. We have like they
the
give you,
heating pad, like the plug-in version.
yeah, we have that version, the water bottle, and then plus electric stimulation, electric for try
Hmm.
to remove the pain. It's not working, nothing. Right now, for the first time ever in the day, Jesse with this weird
You
position,
guys are lucky you found me at the right moment.
the right moment.
Because
The
earlier I was like rolling around on the floor in pain because I couldn't find a good position.
yeah,
Um, I was gonna say though, like I almost went in a little bit of a panic earlier because nothing was
working.
helping. I don't know.
Yeah, almost go in a panic attack almost.
Hmm.
But you handle it.
Yeah,
You calm down the situation. Yeah, because the pain was Jesse can handle it pain, like pain. So this was something
it's only if it crosses that like 8 out of 10 level where
the 8 out of 10.
I can go pretty good. But if it goes over that,
And then
I'm
if you
done.
remember when I tried the pain simulation pain me for the do you know okay do you remember I tried
The tens unit
the tens
to
unit
simulate like the period
the period
cramps.
I cannot go up for.
And I use level 5 to bring down my pain.
And you use the 5 for try to break down the pain. Even 6 you was going.
Yeah.
So
What other questions are they having?
Alessio, you take care of the girl. Yeah, I think I think
He's been very helpful, guys. He really has been.
yeah,
I feel bad because there's only so much that he can do, but you're doing everything you can.
yeah. So yeah, so this is the situation. So I don't know. We were in life before, but the life go that I was frozen.
Hmm.
So you have any try acupuncture for the pain? No, for this specific pain,
For
no.
the pain, no. We've been doing the acupuncture to try and grow the follicles,
Mm-hmm.
um, but nothing pain related. The problem is all of my pain is in the back area, like close to my tailbone. And so I think I don't know, but I think in order to do the needles for the acupuncture, they would need to do them on the back of me. But
Mm-hmm.
because have the follicles growing from the egg retrieval, I can't lay on my stomach.
Mm.
I can't put any pressure on my abdomen because my ovaries are too large and you risk damaging the follicles or like
Mm.
torsioning
Yeah,
torsion
Turgeon. Yeah. Oh.
the ovaries. So I don't really know what they would be able to do.
Do you ever try to eat foods that remove endometriosis?
Oh my gosh, I've tried everything, guys. I always laugh because everyone is so helpful and so kind to try and offer like solutions. But when you've been in so much pain, you've literally tried everything.
Yeah.
And there's not a day that I'm not on the internet trying to search
We
for
try
new
every doctor,
methods.
but the reality is this: endometriosis is feeding from estrogen,
Hmm.
and the only way to remove estrogen it is remove the hormones. Okay, so
Hmm.
you need to take the pill, and then the pain go away. Magically, the pain go away.
In my instance, it doesn't happen for everybody.
No, for
But
everybody.
because
Yeah.
I was just going to say, because I only have it in my bowels, it helps. I read a scientific study recently that said if you have bowel endometriosis, the hormone pills, like birth control pills, can be more beneficial than if you have it as endometriomas or other
Mm.
places. So when I had it in the front, it wasn't as
And
um,
bad, like
helpful.
helpful. Yeah,
But now
bad, but
that they removed it from the front and I just have it in the back, it's helping. But a lot of people don't find relief even from that. So I'm lucky that that gives me some relief. But I can't take that
mm.
when we're trying to do
We try to
fertility
fertility.
treatments.
Yeah, it is like we cannot do.
So,
Right
but yeah,
now,
I've done all the foods like we did.
right now we are in sugar free because
Hmm.
the doctors tell us we can eat carbs,
Hmm.
but we are not no sugar,
But we did a couple years ago. We
no
did like an
gluten.
elimination diet to try and see if anything was triggering. We did the no gluten, the no dairy. Um, I've tried, let's see, what are the other ones? The big ones that people say keto.
Mm.
It's just like a rolling trial of different things.
Yeah,
So it's unfortunately not really doing much. But it's not a day that I don't try and find a new solution. So, what other questions I'm gonna?
so in the other life already answer about the surrogacy, the adoption.
Hmm.
It is in that, so
Oh, I wanted to mention something about the surrogacy though, because I saw those comments.
yeah.
The problem is too, like you explained, that right now there's no sign that my uterus can't
Mm.
carry a pregnancy, so they're
Yeah.
not even suggesting that yet. But even in to do surrogacy, I still have to go through this process
Mm.
because this is how you get
Yeah,
the
the
eggs
egg.
in order to make the embryos, in order to put an embryo into a surrogate.
Mm.
So it's like I still have to do this part.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not even an
Yeah, you
option
need to do anyway this part, the surrogacy. It is just who holding the
because you can't
egg.
do the surrogacy without the
Yeah, I think it's
embryos.
another cost either. We was talking about averages is the 80 to 100K, right? Minimum,
Yeah, because
minimum.
right, because especially if you go through an agency, if you're lucky enough to find a surrogate that will do it like as a
A
gift,
gift, yeah.
you still need to pay all of the medical
Hmm.
fees, their insurance, things that aren't covered by insurance, lawyers, all this stuff. It's a very complicated process. So until they tell us like, hey, that's your only option, I'm not even really going to think about it because there's already too many things
Hmm.
to think about.
Yeah, and yeah, pretty much this is the situation
Hmm.
about this pain and Jesse's here in
I
bed.
hate that I'm like sideways right now. I hate
Yeah,
it
I
so much.
holding the computer with my arm, and now it is a little bit.
You need to have like
I
books
need
or
books and
something.
stuff like that. Yeah, to holding.
Or if you want to go in the other room and continue, we
No, no,
can.
no. So
Let's see other options.
then let's see. Pressure point, foot massage for pain.
Pressure point in the foot. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I found out today because I just happened to like put a pressure in the middle of my foot really, really deep when I was at the height of my pain, and it totally distracted the brain a little bit. So I've been doing that. I need to find something that will just do it for
For me,
me
I
instead of
try, but
like pushing the pressure.
yeah.
But thank you, person, because that is exactly what I discovered yesterday. Right in the middle, if this is your like foot, you know how you've
Mm-hmm.
got your toes and then there's like this point right in the middle where
Yeah,
everything kind of comes together. This is
yeah.
where I was pushing, and it was really helpful.
The
Of
question,
course, if I took it off,
yeah.
the pain was back again, but
The problem about this, it is like, first of all, you need to have somebody 24 hours point, but the the question it is, why with that pressure point and go relief? So it's nerves.
I guess it's nerves. I
It
mean,
is nerves. So I guess the acupuncture should help in somehow. I don't
mhm.
know. I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
It's hard to know because like after this, I plan to go back on the birth control pill. So
Mm-mm-mm. So, hi guys, have you guys ever been invited to go on Grow Up Italian podcast? We met them. They invite us. It is like I think they're from New York, right?
either New York or New Jersey, something
Something
like
over
that.
there.
Doesn't really matter.
I guess we said the next time we're gonna be in that area. Uh, um, yeah, because if we're gonna be in that area, yes, why not?
Hmm. I wonder if I can look at the comments on my phone.
Yeah. So, are you two also getting therapy, seeking the counsel of a psychologist or religion leader?
Um, yes. So I'm a huge like lover of therapy, and I've been in therapy for several years. Well, maybe 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Since I had my miscarriage, that kind of set all that off. But they're basically told me that I'm doing so well with therapy that I can come in only when I really feel like I need to. I was
Mm-hmm.
going once a week for a long time, but yes, I love therapy
So, why do you need to go on birth control after?
because it will suppress my estrogen. So the estrogen is what inflames the endometriosis, and that is what causes like the inflammation, the pain to trigger. So when I go on the progesterone only,
Mm.
because there's different kinds of birth control pills, some have estrogen in them, and those are a disaster for me. We've tried them. My endometriosis grows really fast on those. So I have to do progesterone only birth control to suppress the estrogen, which sucks because
Mm-hmm.
you have a whole other list of bad symptoms. But at least I can like walk around, I can exercise, I can go to places without pain.
If you get 9+ eggs in one retrieval, will you only do the first retrieval instead of three? No,
No.
because pretty much, first of all, we're not gonna get the nine. Uh, Pretty much what happened. It is as we have to do three. Doesn't matter what for the
Mhm.
Jessi low MH. Okay.
The issue is they really want to try and gather as many as
Can you
possible.
explain why we need a lot embryos?
Yeah, okay. I'll give you guys a really like thorough breakdown. So because my AMH is so low, they're worried again, like we would only get 3 eggs per cycle. And in her opinion, in order to have the best chance to get one viable embryo at the end of everything, you have to have 9 eggs. So if she's thinking 3, she's thinking we have to do 3 cycles to get the 9.
For have one.
Unfortunately, yeah, I'm about to explain the
Hmm.
attrition for IVF.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in IVF, and a lot of people get this confused, you might hear of some women getting 30 eggs from an egg retrieval, and you're like, oh my gosh, 30 babies, that's insane. That's not how it works at all. So, every step of the IVF process, you lose numbers. So, let's take the example of getting 30 eggs. You get 30 eggs, not all of those eggs are mature. Then you already are down, let's say some people are like 22 are mature. That's when you fertilize the mature eggs with the ICSI, or you can do naturally. ICSI is when they actually force the fertilization. Once those eggs fertilize, some of those might not fertilize. So then you drop numbers again. Then the embryos start to develop on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 until day 5. Each day you can lose numbers because the embryos don't develop. So maybe you can start with 30 eggs and it's different for everybody. maybe at the end you end up with 5 blastocysts, which is day 5 embryos. Some people end up with more, some people end up with less. And then out of those blastocysts, just because they make it to day 5 doesn't mean that they are chromosomally normal. So you could even lose some because they aren't viable. Like they'll never develop past a couple of weeks. Some people have those implanted, they end up miscarrying. So every time, every step in the process, you drop. So that's why she's saying in order to get the chance for one viable embryo, we have to start at least with 9 mature eggs. And that's mature. Okay, so we need 9 mature eggs, not just 9 eggs that they take from the egg retrieval. If we end up getting, let's say, 6 in the first, which I don't think is going to happen, I'm hoping for 4, just to give you some information. If we were to end up with 6, I think we would still go through these 3 because we have them planned. Number one, they're already all like set up and everything. Um, I think because of my AMH, I would rather shoot for more so that we have more than just one embryo. And then that way we aren't wasting time. Because if we were to do this first egg retrieval and make one embryo, we have to go through the process of a transfer, prepping, all this stuff, see if it sticks or not. That's time passing for my AMH, which is super low, to go even lower. So I think the best chance is for us to really, really push, do our 3 egg retrievals, which is going to be difficult. Now, like I'll tell you, it's going to be really difficult for me. 3 egg retrievals, and then what we get from that, we hope that we get more than just one viable embryo. So we have more than one chance. And does that explain it well, Amone? I hope I explain it. It's very complicated.
So pretty much you try, let's say you try, we're not gonna be happy if it's gonna be 9, great, but we need 9, 9, and 9, because all this 9 can to be 3 for us, because it is 9, then you losing, no, everything is mature, all these things. So you need to have a lot of numbers for have one chance. So that's why we're not gonna stop even if we're gonna get 9. If we get 9, we're gonna try get more 9 and more 9. But honestly, guys, I don't think we're gonna arrive at 9.
I think we're gonna have 4.
Yeah,
I'm hoping
our
so
hope,
at least 4.
I really, really hope.
That's another thing I always laugh about, because sometimes I see comments they're like, "Oh, IVF, are you gonna like choose the hair color of the baby? Are you gonna choose?" I'm like, I'm hoping I have one embryo. Okay, what are you talking about? We hope we have one chance.
Yeah. So yeah, we try to have one chance. So the one chance it is, we need to try to collect at least, I think, 12 total in after this. But 12, then it's not because you, again, you have 12 means case 12 good 12s. About that 12, half gonna die just when you seminate it. You know, you seminate it, fertilizer, and half gonna die. It's crazy. It's not like, oh, you have 9, you're gonna get 9. No.
See, that's why she's saying you have 9 mature eggs. You
So
should get one viable embryo to try.
Exactly. So we need numbers, and we don't have numbers. That's why we need to do 3, because we don't have these big numbers. Because get 4 kind of is sad. Or well, we'll see what we're gonna be. Let's see what it's gonna be. Then, oh, if you found something there, Jessi, try to see your comments for.
Well, when I wasn't trying to answer, I was reading more comments. I have tried intermittent fasting. I actually really enjoy intermittent fasting. I feel like it gives me a lot of energy. But again, there's like a lot of different opinions on intermittent fasting during the fertility process. So some people will say, yes, it's good. Some people will say, no, it's not good. It's a tricky thing, but I have done intermittent fasting in the past. And I think after all this process is over, I'll probably go back to intermittent fasting because I just enjoy the energy level.
So I start like so. So if at the end of the
passive, this is like a stuffed animal. No, it's because my nose has been running, so I was just here for for security.
So if the end of this year you end up with 3 viable embryos, will you have them all transfer at the same time? So you're gonna get one the set, one the set, and one the set.
Yeah, I would never transfer. So another thing is that's changed a lot in IVF because a lot of people have this memory of how IVF used to be, 20 or 30 years ago, where they would try and put in multiple embryos to increase the chances of success. And that's how you hear about people having, 4 babies at one time or more. It's not like that anymore, guys. The science behind it has improved so much that now the chances of success are higher if you only put one in. Because when you do one, if it fails, they can see what caused more of the failure. You can do more testing, you can go step by step. Also, you reduce the risk of multiple pregnancy in general because having twins or triplets is more dangerous.
It's really dangerous,
for
yeah.
normal people, like everyone, than having just one. So we would do one embryo transfer each time so that we can see if the first one fails, what went wrong, what can we test, what can we look at to try and make the next one better. Sometimes you can never find anything wrong. I read stories all the time of people who've gotten, let's say they have 5 healthy embryos, they try 3 and they fail, and then they try the 4th one, and it just magically happens. It's such a complicated process, and it's so individual for every single person going through it. There's no one size fits all answer, but we would not transfer all of those at the same time. It would be one,
Yeah.
one.
The main reason for embryos to fail is the quality of embryos itself.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
think that's the most common reason that an embryo doesn't go. That's why they think our first 2 embryo transfers failed, because in Italy we did not do any genetic testing on the embryos to see if they were euploid, which means all the chromosomes were correct. So they think that maybe, because to be honest, our grades, because each embryo also gets a grade,
Mhm.
and these can be very I guess a wide range of opinions on the grades, because some people say like, oh, a good grade doesn't matter. They've had success with lower grades. I totally agree with that. Grading is whatever. But our grades for those embryos were very low. Very, very low. And I don't think we talked about that in the video, but they were low. So they're thinking, because we didn't test them, they're guessing that they were bad chromosomally. So we don't know that. We are going to be testing them this time just to help rule out if that is the reason or not.
Yeah.
Because this would be our 3rd embryo transfer.
So how much cost IVF in the United States, Amore? A lot, respect Italy. So we did actually a video about talking about all the costing, how much cost the IVF, So you can go details there, but because every single state is different, you can example in Italy was cost us just $5,000. In America cost more, but because we did some Italian IVF, the cost is a little bit less for us, because if you're doing multiple
we were able to get into a package deal,
because we already did. So
which is actually helpful, because
for the medicine it's crazy.
When they told us that we would probably have to do 3 egg retrievals, we were adding up everything and kind of freaking out. But then we were able to find this package where we can do the 3
for a nice cost,
a fair cost. I'd say it's still expensive, but I feel like it's a fair deal.
But how deal it is a good deal, because it's delivery guarantee.
Yeah. So if
everything go wrong, we don't lose nothing.
Yeah, we'll get our money back.
Yeah,
which is extremely rare.
It's really rare, but because we did some IVF in Italy.
Yeah, it's complicated to explain, and maybe at the end of the process we'll break it down for you guys, because right now we're in the thick of things. But because we've already done IVF, we qualified for this program where you can do these egg retrievals and transfers, and then if it fails, it's a money back guarantee. So
then would you go through IVF again if you are successful this time? So if we are not successful, so the question is this: if we are successful, no,
I think it's over.
it's over.
Like, and then
It's
if it's
like if we have
unsuccessful, I think it's
we have
over.
one kid, yeah, we happy, we prosecco, go, we take down party for years. If it's not gonna be successful, I think it's gonna be the end. The end doesn't matter
Yeah,
what.
I agree. I think that this is like a final push. It's
This
like
is our final push.
it's
Yes.
pushing a lot physically, it's pushing a lot mentally and financially, and I think that if we're not successful, we're going to call it here. If we are successful and we don't have any remaining embryos, then we would stop. The only way I could see us doing more is if we're successful and we have another embryo frozen, we would go
Mm.
back and try again to see if that embryo takes. But there will not be any more egg retrievals happening after this three in a row. I think it's gonna knock me out.
Yeah.
I saw somebody asked too about male factor infertility, because I don't think we ever covered that, but
No.
Alessio's been tested. They test both of us at the beginning of the process, and everything is good with Alessio. So that's why there's not any focus on Alessio's sperm or issues or whatever, because there aren't any. It's just my
So weird. Yes, it's the
endometriosis.
endometriosis. Yeah. Our
Also,
unluckiness, it is the endometriosis.
and the thing is, like, what really, really causes us to have to do IVF, like not even try anything naturally, is because my endometriosis basically ate up my fallopian tubes. So those are the tubes that connect the ovaries to the uterus. That's how the eggs travel. And I don't have those anymore because they were removed with surgery because endometriosis gnarled them up. They're very delicate, small little structures anyway. So some of it were like twisted and knotted up. Some were filled with blood. A portion was filled with fluid. So they were blocked and they were all twisted, and there's no way to fix those. So they actually can cause bad success rates with IVF if you leave that in there, because they can create kind of a toxic environment. So because they aren't functioning, we had them removed. So there's no way for the eggs to get to the uterus naturally anymore. So IVF is our only option.
My arm is start to be.
Sorry, I'm gonna.
Then
I can take pain medicine after the retrieval. I saw that comment, and I am counting it down because I would like some pain medicine, but we're waiting for that day. Let's see what else. There is another person in my family with endometriosis, a cousin that I have. And I remember when we were first diagnosed with endometriosis, because we were both diagnosed around the same time, all the doctors were saying, oh, it's just like a coincidence. There's not really a genetic factor, but I believe there's a genetic factor.
So before I answer this question, I want to just people try to asking about adoption or surrogacy. We already answered this question. So for the people that are still here, they already hear the answer. You can find it in the beginning of the life, this life, and the other life about the. But it is one question: what happened to your thyroid?
Oh, so yeah, because I mentioned that in a recent video, right? So I don't have a thyroid anymore, guys. I had my thyroid removed in 2018 because I was hyperthyroid. I feel like most people are familiar with hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's. I was hyperthyroid, but it was caused by a lot of toxic nodules that I had on my thyroid. I have a lot of genetic thyroid problems. Like every single person in my family has a thyroid problem. So it was not a surprise necessarily, but because of those toxic nodules, they were making me hyperthyroid. And the irony of this is like, remember when we had that removed, they said one of the big factors of being hyperthyroid without being treated was infertility. Well,
Yeah.
here we are anyway.
Yeah.
So I had my thyroid removed. I was really worried about that and like all of the potential side effects of it. But I've been able to keep my thyroid levels in the optimal range for years. And optimal is different than normal because the normal range is very wide and the optimal range is smaller. So always research if you have thyroid issues, whether you have your thyroid removed or not, make sure to study the optimal range for thyroid levels rather than just normal because you can be normal and be symptomatic. But right now, um, we just actually adjusted my medication dose because I was inching up in the normal range to the higher end and I could feel symptoms coming in. So we adjusted my medication. So we're actually going to test that in a couple of weeks to see if it's back in the
Mm.
optimal range. But my thyroid really doesn't cause me too many issues. My only thing is like I have to take medicine every day, which is annoying.
I see. Every day.
And I actually am more like a cold person.
Yeah, so pretty much the only thing me and Jessi we know are good at all is the temperature for the house.
Because Alessio's always hot
I'm hot
and I'm
person
always cold.
and Jessi's cold person. So for me it's 68 and for Jessi it's 70.
And
Okay.
we are always fighting about the temperature because we are both like we cannot agree on what's comfortable.
What is comfortable? Yeah, yeah.
So technically TSH, the optimal range is under 2.0, but I like to keep mine under 1.5. So yeah, I saw some questions.
Yeah, I see the yeah. So
But I
guy,
think the normal goes all the way up to 5.0 or something crazy.
yeah. So okay. So now it's time. I need to go cook the lasagna,
No, I'm
ragazzi.
having fun talking to them.
Okay. So hold this.
Oh no. Okay. Just me. All right. Let's see if I can answer. Don't have a thyroid either. I haven't had much luck keeping my levels stable. Yes, I feel like I'm very lucky that I can control it with the medication because I know a lot of people have problems with that. And I remember when I had mine out, there was a lot of disagreement on whether synthetic hormones were appropriate or naturally desiccated thyroid hormones were better. I've been on the synthetic version and I've been okay. So
Oh,
I do have an endocrinologist that is familiar with our fertility journey. So what are you showing?
the lasagna. So
Oh my
yesterday we ate
gosh.
F, my big lasagna, and tonight we're gonna eat the other F.
Yes. Retrieval. So guys, this is actually exciting. Only you guys in this live know this, but we're triggering tonight for the egg retrieval. And I'm so happy because the pain has been so difficult that I'm just ready to get it over with. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the trigger tonight in just a few hours. So that means the egg retrieval will be in about 36 hours. So don't tell anybody. It's just your secret. Okay. Let's see. Some other questions. I will say too, oh, let's see. How many follicles do you have right now? So that's tricky to exactly know because on the right, we had, I think, about 4 or 5 that were in a good size. And on the left, I had another 2 that are in a good size, but the left is very difficult to reach. So they don't know if they can. Oh, Alessio's taking it.
So you cannot reach.
They don't know if they can reach those. So
Yeah. So
and we also have one that's a little bit bigger than the others. So it's kind of unsure if we're going to lose that one because the other ones are all about the same size, but there's one that's bigger. So it might go too big, and that can mean the egg won't make it. So we might only have those 4 that are about the same size.
and then
It's a mystery. We're not
it's a
going to
mystery.
know until
And,
it's
and
done.
you know what? In the other part, where we have just 3, is making like a little face, like 2 eyes, and
It's
I'm mad.
angry. It's so mad.
I would.
The doctor was laughing because she was like, usually the follicles are supposed to be really nice black circles, and this left side was like
Like a pumpkin,
a
a
mad.
pumpkin, a mad pumpkin, like the pumpkin like this, watching you is crazy. So that I don't know if we can get you already explained.
I tried to, yeah. I don't know if I fully explained it, but that one's kind of stuck behind my uterus. So it's difficult to get through with the needle that they use to take out the eggs. So we don't know if they're going to be able to get that or not. It's going to be kind of a day of discovery.
Sorry. Sorry, I tried to move
No,
my
it's okay.
my
You can
hand.
keep that like this, and I can read comments on my phone
You
because
can, well, yeah.
yes, scowling follicles, exactly. Oh, so I actually ended up not getting OHSS. I saw somebody ask about this. So when you do an egg retrieval, there's a risk of getting ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, I think is what it's called, which is where your ovaries are so stimulated from the medicine that you can cause this thing to happen where you it's very dangerous actually. But I was lucky the first time we did the egg retrieval, I didn't get that in Italy, even though my estrogen level was super high. It was at
Mm,
8,000, I think, when we did the trigger, which is incredibly high. And I had a lot of follicles growing, but we did a Lupron trigger in
mhm.
Italy, which reduces the chance of that. And this time, because I don't have as many follicles, I think that my risk is lower. So I don't think I'm going to have that this time either. So I've been very lucky, but it's a very dangerous thing that people can get with egg retrieval.
Mm. Do you want to tell the story? What is the worst thing ever? Can you think about the IVF is not the pain?
The worst thing ever.
Yeah. What is uh if it's not the pain? What do you think it is
The
the
most difficult
most
part.
difficult part? Is the injections? It is like the actually when you do the egg retrieval. It is the bad
Yeah.
news because there's so much going
It
on.
depends on what you're, if you're asking what's the most difficult physically or the most difficult emotionally.
Doing physically, like let's remove everything.
Okay, physically, it's been this so far.
Oh, the pain.
Like the last
No,
couple
no,
of
but without the
days.
pain.
Oh, without the
Yeah,
pain. If I take away the pain, like if I didn't have pain, what's the most difficult thing?
yeah. To be in track all the time, what time you need to take the.
That's more just like annoying.
It's
Like it's
annoying.
like
So everything else, if you know what's the pain,
I think the hardest part if you took away the pain is watching your numbers
the
drop.
numbers.
That
So it's just going
emotional
more emotionally.
because you can get so excited if you have good numbers and then just watch them fall off. I'm a big Reddit reader. Okay, I love reading the IVF forums on Reddit, but unfortunately, you see people like start off with great numbers and then they can go down to having nothing left at the end. Maybe they don't get any embryos. It's just always this. It seems like a crapshoot, honestly. Like it's just
Hmm.
random luck of the draw. And so I feel like that's what the hardest part of this process is the emotional damage.
Hmm. Do you have any other issue respect the endometriosis? No, Jessie was fine until she found endometriosis
Yeah.
come in because endometriosis it is and unfortunately endometriosis. How many people was attacked about endometriosis? Like every time four girls have endometriosis, something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember right off the top of my
I think it's
head.
four.
1 in 4? Like 1 out of every
No,
4 women?
every 10 is four.
No, I don't remember. I think it's gone up recently though because it's actually a good thing because it means that people are getting
Yeah,
diagnosed.
people they I don't know even know they have endometriosis
Let's see how many because I'm curious what
because
it is right now.
a lot of people maybe they don't think to have endometriosis, but a lot of people have endometriosis, and then depend the stage about endometriosis. Just you have stage four.
Hmm.
Some people have stage one, that is the
Right now it
mild
says 10%. So
10%.
that
So
would be
every
1 out of
10,
10.
one over the 10 have endometriosis. So the percentage is not go high.
No,
I
not
hear that the fertility it is four.
fertility. Yeah, it's higher for sure, but that could be any
And
type of
see, it's
infertility.
not just endometriosis. It is maybe quality
But I think
eggs
we could
or
see the
sperm.
number of endometriosis rise in the next little bit because I feel like more people are getting diagnosed, which is actually a good thing so they can get treatment and at least an understanding of why they feel like crap. But it's going to be bad because the numbers are going to be higher.
Do you want to tell the time that the doctor told us that we were supposed to be remove everything?
Oh, like take out my uterus and everything? I've had
The
that many times, actually.
so think about if you listen. If you listen always the doctors, you can find a doctor that can like, oh, you need to just remove. They try to remove the egg, and then they said, when we go to the specialist for endometriosis, they said, thank God you guys don't listen.
The funny thing is that the person I saw who said to remove the ovaries
Mm-hmm.
was listed as a specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And also the other person, because there have been two people that gave me bad advice,
Mm-hmm.
told me to have a hysterectomy. And she was also listed as a specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And both of these things don't cure endometriosis. So you can have people who feel great after
Mm-hmm.
doing those things. You can have people who feel horrible because maybe they have endometriosis somewhere else that wasn't part of the uterus or the ovaries. So it's crazy. I mean, I always trusted my gut when I first learned that I had endometriosis because, to be honest, guys, I was diagnosed in a very traumatic way because we found my endometriosis accidentally because I had a CT scan because I was having gastrointestinal issues randomly, like from nothing
Mm-hmm.
to very intense problems. And they found two really large cysts in the CT scan. One was 7 centimeters and one was 10. So it looked like one giant 17-centimeter cyst in my abdomen. And they thought I had ovarian cancer
I
because the blood
remember.
tests and everything were elevated. Everybody thought I had ovarian cancer. The doctors were freaking out. They were shuffling me from one specialist to another within 3 or 4 days. And I was in shock. I was like, oh my gosh. And my worst fear had come true because I'd been having all of these bad symptoms and ignoring it for about 6 months. And so I was like, oh, great. I have ovarian cancer because I've ignored the symptoms for so long and I never went to the doctor about it. And I'd convinced myself it was normal. And now I have ovarian cancer. Well, fortunately, I didn't have ovarian cancer because when I had an oncologist do my surgery the first time, so if you see in our videos, I have a long vertical scar on my abdomen. That's from my first endometriosis surgery. And they did that surgery and they saw that it was endometriosis. But that kind of set me off in a very bad way at the beginning because now I was always scared that I had cancer, even though it was confirmed to be endometriosis. It's like every pain, every twitch, every
I was
anything.
rough night, rough days because actually they told us cancer and we need to have immediately surgery. And guys, this was the biggest mistake we ever did
Hmm.
in the beginning because
I think that surgery caused a lot of
it cost
damage.
us a lot of damage because was the temperature for the
Yeah,
lasagna.
lasagna.
Because if we was going to a specific endometriosis doctor,
They would have known.
they were knowing and they removed the mass in different way, and then maybe.
I would have less scarring, less adhesions.
And then, do you know what is the funny thing? No, I want to say the funny thing. The funny thing it is, we were supposed to be when you do your first surgery.
Hmm.
When you do your first surgery,
You have an increase.
you have the one increase to be pregnant. Okay,
Hmm.
I think in the next 6 months after surgery, right?
We started, yeah.
And they don't told us nothing.
Yeah, so.
Actually, they at the beginning they because was the recovery, was all that kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
our best chance to have a baby naturally was immediately after the surgery. And the guy, because was a surgeon, was a surgery for cancer. Was a surgery for endometriosis. So me and Jesse, we don't were married yet. We don't were married.
Right, we
We
weren't
were,
married. And
yeah,
I
we were
know,
engaged, but not married.
yeah, I know from the surgical notes that one of the cysts ruptured during that surgery. And so I think that released the little deposits of endometriosis to go all over the place.
And they go all over the place.
Unfortunately, that happened, but like we've said in the past, we try not to dwell on those like things.
Because you don't
You
know,
can't change
you
it.
cannot change it. You don't know. You try to do the best thing in that moment, but we have so much experience. Okay, we know everything now because for diet, for that, with that, because we did everything. We talk with all the doctors or whatever. But in the beginning, you don't know. You don't know. I don't know even what was endometriosis until this is happened.
I'd never heard of it
Yeah.
before that.
By the way, thank you so much, Wendy. Blessing and much love and prayers to you
Thank
both. Thank you
you.
so much, Wendy.
Thank you.
So
So
yeah,
yeah, like we've said, you can't dwell on the past, but you can use it to try and make things better in the future. So we try and advocate for ourselves do a lot of research. This is why I do so much research, is because I feel like there actually, unfortunately, are so many doctors out there that aren't fully aware of endometriosis or know how to treat it or know what to do. So you have to do a lot of
Yeah.
self-educating.
Thank you so much for the heart. I don't know how you say the name.
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite from the video Aphrodite che we did. So yeah, guys, it is really, really rough. Love. Oh, you wanna read Emily?
Emily, can you please consider freeze embryos instead of eggs so every single egg has a real chance? So this is actually an interesting thing. I think we covered this in our most recent video.
2 videos ago.
We discussed this a lot with both our doctors in Italy and the United States because both were recommending egg banking for us. And in my research, I had always read that freezing embryos is a better chance of success than freezing eggs because embryos are more strong. They can survive better the freezing and the thawing process. So when they suggested this to me, I was like, well, why would we do that? Because
Exactly.
eggs don't last from the freezing and only like the embryos are more successful. But both Italy and US were recommending that we do egg banking. So back-to-back egg retrievals, freezing the eggs, and then making the embryos after that. And the reason was for two reasons. Number one, we can go faster with egg banking. Number two, actually, especially in the US, their technology at our specific clinic for egg freezing has gotten so much better than it used to be. So they have more success freezing and unfreezing the eggs.
Yeah.
She said there's always a chance, but compared to what it was even just a couple years ago, the advancements in the technology has gotten so much better. And number three,
the cost.
Because unfortunately, here in our lovely country of the United States, they will charge you the same whether you do the fertilization for 1 egg or 9 eggs, 30 eggs, whatever. So every time if we were doing an egg retrieval and creating embryos, we had to pay for the fertilization process of that amount of eggs for each time. So basically we're paying 3 rounds of fertilization, ICSI, laboratory, freezing, monitoring, all that, rather than egg banking and doing it one time. Paying one time. So she said it's not worth the additional cost to us when their technology has gotten so good that the egg freezing gives us viable option. So she was like, I don't want you to have to pay for 3 rounds of embryo creation when it's not going to make that much difference, is what she said. You know, I understand that people read and they have their own experiences, which is always the case no matter what. You have to weigh your options and weigh what's possible and make the best choice. But we have definitely considered that. We've done our research on it. We've talked to both clinics in Italy and United States. Both suggested the same thing for us. So that's how we're moving forward. And we'll just have to go with what happens from that.
What happened. So quick question. Do you guys remember your dreams? Anything changed with them? And then we have this question too. Carrie, we're gonna come to you. So do you have any dreams could change or
like hopes and
no
dreams, or like
I think
dreams?
life dreams.
Okay.
Like I think a life dream they would try to say, like, example, my dream was come in America, I got it, I married my wife, and then others I'm stopped there. I don't know how
You didn't think any further?
I don't think any further.
That's the problem. You haven't been manifesting
Well, the biggest dream now, I have a kid, but in the same time, you know, like I said, to the first life, a little bit scared what can happen later if it's not gonna happen. Because the shocking, when the shock, you're gonna have the shock, like, okay, this is it, it's done. You know, what you gonna do in life? You know, that is the thing.
You have to shift your
other things.
mental
You know,
image.
like I said, life is too short to think about other things like, I don't know. Maybe a house. But I'm happy with this house.
No. One thing that this process has made us is very grateful and happy with what we have.
Mm,
Because if you like growing up, I always thought of the timeline, oh, I'm going to graduate, go to college, then I'll get married, then I'll have a kid, and then I'll have another kid, and whatever after that. And you have this like image of what it's supposed to be. And then I never considered that that wouldn't happen. So the first time that it didn't happen for us, because like Alessio said, 6 months after my first endometriosis surgery is when we got married. And then we started to try and have a baby, and that didn't happen for like a year.
a year.
Then we ended up conceiving like a year and a month later, and then we unfortunately had a miscarriage. And so that just started this whole thing of like, wait a second, my whole timeline is not working out the way that it was supposed to. And it had me reevaluate everything that could, what my life could look like. And I feel like now I have no idea what my life is going to look like. And maybe it's better that I just don't
I don't think
know,
about
or
it.
I
Yeah.
don't try and make these
Expectation.
milestones,
Milestone.
expectations, because nothing is promised. Like, obviously, tomorrow isn't even promised. So I just try now to set myself up to make a good future by what I'm doing in the present.
Yeah. So Carrie Young, I wish you guys all the best. I have endometriosis
Mm.
and suffer with ovary cyst a lot. I have 3 beautiful babies now,
Mm.
and I hope you get your little bundle of joy soon too. Oh, thank you so
Carrie.
much.
Wow, what a beautiful gift that you have.
Yeah, thank you. And then I'm really happy. So you are endo warrior.
Hmm.
She's an
Oh, thank you.
endo warrior.
Someone said we have options, and that's exactly the truth. I mean, you have options,
What
and
option in
in
general?
life, I mean, to be honest, guys, I feel like there's this guideline of what you're supposed to do in life, but no matter what, Alessio and I will have fulfilling, beautiful, wonderful lives. We have a lot of people in our lives, a lot of family that we love, and there's so many things that we can do and options that we can do.
Hmm.
Like, there's so many things. Right now, we're focused on IVF because IVF takes all of your mental energy, your physical energy. We
Mm-mm.
cannot go through this process thinking about 100 other different things. I've got to go through this locked in, so I can give it my all in the moment. And then whatever happens from there, then we can open our minds to what potentially could be next.
Mm-mm.
Right now, I focus 100% on IVF, give the IVF the grace and the respect of my attention and my hard work. And then whatever happens after that, then I will look at it and go to the next step.
But it's gonna be a little bit shocking.
It will be shocking. Everything's always shocking
It's sort
when
of shocking.
something happens.
One thing that a lot of people don't know. Okay, in this life, you're gonna know all the tea. Do you remember the day you told me the image was 0?
Yeah, that was a shock. That was a big shock because I'd always had like a perfect AMH.
We were 3.
Even with endometriosis.
Mm.
So we really don't know why for years I had endometriosis and then my AMH was good and then suddenly it dropped. It can just happen. But it was shocking.
Mm-mm.
And actually, another big shock for me was having to lose both of my fallopian tubes because it definitely was like a cutoff in the fact that, okay, there's no chance to ever become pregnant naturally. Because sometimes you hear these miracle stories like, oh, we tried for 10 years, we did IVF, nothing ever happened. And then miraculously, 2 years later, we were able to conceive. That will never happen for us because I don't have fallopian tubes. So there was a grieving process there for that. And the fact that, wow, that is really a closure of an option. Are you
Option.
okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, I'm
Okay.
okay. No, I'm
Yeah.
okay. Okay, but I remember the day I
You're
was
thinking
pretty.
too much.
Yeah, somebody said, "Listen, probably listen. All you can do, Jessi and Alessio, is taking one step at a time."
Exactly.
Yeah, the question it is is rough.
Someone said cat sanctuary, and I am like, yes to that, no matter what. Cat sanctuary.
What it means?
Like we have a whole like
Oh, okay.
place for rescuing cats.
I'm gonna open the bar.
And
with
Micha is the mascot.
Mitch is there sleeping.
Somebody
Oh,
actually,
is your stuffed animal there, Amore?
yeah, my
The
plush.
the flush.
Someone asked about vitamin D. Yes. So
Whoa.
we get a lot of questions about supplements and all this stuff too, and all the books. I've read all the books.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken all the supplements. But I will say, back when I was in my early 20s, I was found to be deficient in vitamin D. And this was probably over 10 years ago now. So ever since then, I've been on vitamin D, like regularly.
So I want to read this message from this member. Actually, you read it because it is happiness. Right there.
Happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it will elude you. But if you turn your attention to other things, it will gently come and sit on your shoulder. I love that. That's amazing. That's exactly true.
Yeah, it is a really good statement.
Thorough.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And like this, ragazzi.
People like to see Micha in the videos.
Micha is right there.
I have to say, where is she? Oh, here.
Yeah, right there.
In her little bed.
With the chickens.
Mitch has been very helpful during this process. Actually, today, earlier, when I was at the height of my pain,
Mitch immediately got to Jessi to try to remove.
She came up to me immediately to try and help, and she was so sweet because she was like, I don't know what to do except be here. So it's very helpful to have her. I'm very glad.
Do you test periodically for
vitamin D because maybe it's too high? Yes, we do check it, and it's good. So don't worry about that.
I don't check mine. I was low in vitamin D.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
We both were. I think you now, because you're not under the Mediterranean sun as much.
My God, ragazzi, I never had problem with vitamins in all my life. I came in America and my vitamin D was terrible. Like how much was like terrible.
Yeah.
I was really
low.
like if I hit my arm, I can break my arm, my bones. Like it was that bad. They make me immediately take this big pills, the vitamin D. I said, how is possible?
Poor Alessio, it was very like shocking for him because he never has anything wrong.
I always little bit dark, whatever. Here I'm pallid. I'm a ghost. Like I'm good for Halloween. That's it.
Oh, someone says no endo, but cervical cancer survivor. Wow.
Wow.
You know, amazing that you have been through that. Currently getting ready to do my second round of IVF via gestational carrier, which is a surrogate, another word for surrogacy. And I feel you, Jessi. Every day is a new adventure, and grief is okay. Keep the faith. You too, keep the faith, and I hope for the best on your next IVF round.
So, somebody, is normal to be slightly low in vitamin D, but take 50,000 units weekly, and you all be good. Guys, I was taking daily that amount. I was bad.
Oh, yeah.
The sun not love me here in America. I need to go back to my I ask you a question, Amore.
Tell me.
Are you never gonna try to go live in Italy?
I think eventually.
You have sun, you have vitamin D.
To be honest,
for free.
Remember, that was sort of our plan before endometriosis sped up our timeline, because we were wanting to move to Italy. We were looking at houses, and then suddenly my endometriosis got so bad that the doctors were like, you need to do IVF right now, or it's, the timeline is ticking.
It's ticking.
So we decided, okay, let's put that on hold, and then, but maybe in the future, we never know.
Yeah,
I love Italy. I would like to live in Italy at some point.
Yeah.
According to the Italians, all you need is some air. Breathe the Italian air, and you're cured of everything.
Yeah. Ben dai, so ragazzi, it's time. Oh, was almost time to close the live, but it's not time yet. We
Right.
have
Let me read it over
Bella.
here. Hold on.
Jessi is gonna read your message. I put like here.
No kids here. I have PCOS and it didn't happen for us. We're super happy though and have a lovely life. 25th anniversary this year. Congratulations. Much love from the UK. You're beautiful people and we'll always be happy together. Exactly. You're the perfect example
Perfect
that
example.
your life has meaning no matter what, and you can have a beautiful, happy life
You know what
in
is
all circumstances.
you know what is it? What's scary? It is scary because you don't know. It's always hard to connect the dots when you don't know how you connect the
Mm,
dots. So now to go for it is always a little bit scared to think, oh, how is gonna be life, you know? Uh, but I mean,
that can be part of the beauty of it though. You have
hmm,
to look at it, you know.
you're gonna
It's like
know
we're
in the
reading
end.
a
Yeah,
book. We're reading our book and we don't know what the next chapter is.
I never read the books,
Books,
so that's why I always
you need
at
to
school
he needs
I
to
was
start
just
reading.
finding the.
I'm a big reader. I need to get Alessio to read more. But it's like an up and down, you know, you never know what's going to happen. We have no idea and that's part of the fun of reading the book.
Mm. Ragazzi, I almost is ready the
I can
lasagna,
smell it. It smells
so
really
I need to go
good.
check it. We're gonna finish this live right now. Thank you so much. We're gonna do another live, I think, next week if you don't come out before the video. So thank you so much and ciao to the next one. Ciao ragazzi, grazie per essere rimasti con noi.
Ciao.
Ciao.